It absolutely is up to Elle to do whatever she wants to do in her professional career. And I don't have any issue with adults doing what they want, entering sex work. However, unfortunately, I think the way in which OnlyFans is often discussed in public makes it out to be this quick get rich scheme. It reeks of a pyramid scheme. And oftentimes, young girls find themselves following this fool's gold rush and not really understanding the consequences of it. So, here's some information that I feel like young girls should arm themselves with. The average registered OnlyFans creator makes only $180 a month. That's the average. So we're not discussing Elle in that, obviously, but that is the average. Making about $2,500 a month puts you in the top 1%, which adds up to $15 an hour, which is the same or less than McDonald's pays. So oftentimes these young girls find themselves, entering sex work thinking that it's going to be financially, beneficial for them. And they end up making less than a fast food worker, but they still take on the entire stigma of being involved in sex work and oftentimes can't find employment afterwards. So my only issue is people doing these things without having, themselves armed with the information. And I think
Okay, I
everyone
mean,
should know
look,
what the
yeah, I mean, look,
Before we play some more of this wild interview panel here, where polarizing media figure influencer Piers Morgan has a debate with a OnlyFans sex worker. She'll say it herself. Ellie Brooke. I've never heard of this woman before. I don't. I loathe OnlyFans and what it does to our young women and women in general. And let me tell you, for the last hour and a half or so, give or take, as you can see, I'll show you my full screen here on the left. These are all tabs I have open of like research I've been doing and YouTube videos I've been watching on how this app is causing more damage to our women and young women in the long run. We haven't seen it yet, but sometime in the next, let's say 5, 10, 15 years, there's going to be some big documentary, kind of like ESPN's 30 for 30, where it's going to be maybe 5, 6, 7 parts about like how OnlyFans destroyed society, some shit like that, sensationalized. So what I've learned about this app is they were found in as an organization or company, were founded in 2016, just 6 years ago. They brought in 900 million in revenue in 2021, but the OnlyFans creators as a whole brought in nearly $4 billion. That's just like wild to me. The top earners are Black China. She's no longer on there. Bella Thorne and Cardi B, Tiger, Miss Khalifa. I barely know who any of these people are. Now, how OnlyFans works, if you don't know, is you pay a subscription fee, anywhere from 99 cents to about $40 a month, as I've seen, as I've glanced through some things. And there's different. Okay, so you can either be a soft porn artist like Cinemax, where you're showing like you humping on stuff, no genitalia shown, like it's weird, but that people pay for this. But you can be one of those type. You can be somebody like we talk about here on the channel, an athlete who poses in lingerie like a Ebony Bridges or a Shanika Johnson. You could be flat out just porn star on there. So what we're going to talk about today is, and there's so many things to talk about, is for one, the effect on children, the effects on your personal life if you don't make it to be in that top 0.01%, and how basically you heard that crazy stat right there is if you don't make it, you can barely make $15 an hour, but yet the cost that you've done to your life overall, because you may not be able to get employed, the embarrassment, relationship issues, you might as well go work at McDonald's. So I don't want to ramble on here. I want to make sure that we're touching on all of the points. And even if you look at this headline right here, OnlyFans star son left suicidal after classmates taunt him with naked pics of mom. Wild. Big J, you want to give your opening thoughts before we jump into this?
Well, the real reason we're doing this video is because I put out a tweet the other day
When I saw the Shanika Johnson weigh-in, I was shocked because I had to look twice, and you did too. She actually had body paint on with OnlyFans across her chest. So she was wearing a G-string that left bugger all to the imagination, and she had her breast body painted in this white to look like a white sports top. I'm like, what the fuck? When did Shanika start this shit?
Mind you, Shanika Johnson is a boxer, a female boxer. For those who don't know.
And as with Ebony Bridges, so they're both Australian, right? They're both world champion. Well, Shanika lost her title the other day. They're both world champion boxers. Why in God's name are they doing this OnlyFans shit? I mean, Ebony is a maths teacher, or was. She'll never go back to the profession now, that's for sure. Ebony is an educated woman who does commentary with Matchroom and can string a couple of words together and, presents herself, quite intelligently, but she's doing this OnlyFans shit. It's like, why? Why lower yourself to that garbage? I mean, Ellie Brooke, she's dabbled in boxing and she's Ebony times 100. So, which is probably, these girls all know each other. And from what I've heard, I think someone told me that Shanika and Elle did a thing on Instagram promoting her OnlyFans. I'm like, oh, Jesus. I don't know if you're aware of it or not.
No.
But why are we allowing this shit to get into professional sport? If you want to be an OnlyFans star, that's fine. Piss off to your simp fans and do that deplorable shit and leave the boxing to the athletes who actually want to be boxers.
And it's funny how they talk about how you have like confusing messages. Now, I'm not saying that Ebony Bridges is one of the women that are claiming that we want to be known for boxing and known like for our skills and not being objectified. But yet sometimes it comes across to me that she would rather do all this modeling than be a boxer, and she's using that the sex appeal. See, I'm on the fence with it. I kind of get it. But at the end of the day, I do, especially in the sport of boxing or in any athletics. For example, I don't like when I'm not a fan of female basketball players, presenting themselves in that way, or other athletes, or WWE superstars. I'm not a fan of that. But yet, it's showing to me that a lot of women these days want to get ahead off of their looks and actually not like their skills. It's like, almost like a cash grab, easy way out. And I know I'm going to offend a lot of people. For example, I'm on Ebony Bridges' page right now. Let's see. She's charging a regular price of $30 a month. Wait. It's okay. So it says here, limited time offer, 60% off for 30 days. Ask about my nude collab. I didn't even know she's getting naked now. Content posted every day.
She's on bloody OnlyFans. How did you know she's not getting naked? Of course she's getting freaking naked.
I thought something would have leaked already. I didn't see nothing. I can't believe I'm out the loop here. Plus chat with me one-on-one. Subscribe for $12 for 30 days. Okay, but the regular price is, so she's got a sale going on. This is crazy to me.
Yeah, whoop-de-doo.
This is crazy to me. But here, let me play a little bit more of this interview right here, because funny enough, this is actually what Piers was digging into this girl about her being a lawyer and then, or having a chance to be an attorney, but then she went to OnlyFans.
I think this show's called Uncensored. You can do whatever you like. I don't care. But I'm just curious about you being someone who embarked on a law career, was obviously very bright, went to university, packed it in just for money to be effectively an online stripper. I mean, that's what you do, right?
Yeah. Way worse than an online stripper. But
what do you mean way worse?
Way worse. Online strippers just, naked. I do things that are way more grotesque than
just
that.
Pornography,
anything. But it's all within what I want to do, and I absolutely love it, and I'm really good at it. I could be a good lawyer, yes, but also am I good at doing other things on video and camera?
How would you feel when you want to have kids yourself?
Well, I mean, I don't really want kids right now. But at
you
least
will do. How old are you?
25.
Right, so you will do at some stage, probably, right?
Maybe.
When you do, you're going to be proud that you have your little ones and they look at you and go, didn't you want to be a lawyer, Mummy? What happened?
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, but look at all my stuff.
They can cry in a Ferrari.
Oh my God. And she said we do things way more grotesque. And they can
Oh
try to
yeah,
fight
mate.
for Ferrari, like and you can tell she she kind of paused a little bit. I'm no body language expert, but I do dabble a little bit. You can tell when he asked her about the kids, she kind of was like she wanted to say yes, straightforward. Well, yeah, one day, but then she's she kind of curved a little bit, like kind of give the sense that she's not really worried about it right now. So
Mate, she won't end up having kids. What man in his right mind would want to breed with her?
yeah, she said grotesque.
I say again, what man in his right mind? She might find some simp that'll worship the ground she walks on, but no decent man will go within 20 feet of her.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the thing. This is a girl who obviously has some brains, because you cannot be a dumbass and get into law school, right? You can't be. My guess is she got in by some miracle. She flunked out, and then OnlyFans come along.
You know what? I think so too. Shit was getting hard.
I mean, you can tell. You actually tell by the way she talks. She can barely string a word together. She can barely string a full sentence together. She doesn't look that intelligent. But here's the thing, right? Now, 20 years ago, when I was a young fella, I used to be a bouncer in a strip club, right? So I've seen a lot of shit. I can tell you, every single one of those girls was either a drunk, druggo, a gambling addict, or all three. What they don't tell you about these OnlyFans and these porn stars is that they spend every single cent they earn and they end up broke and lonely at the end of it. So I hope that these girls make enough money for the next 5 years to last them the next 50, because once they get past their use-by date and they hit, I don't know, 30-something, and no one wants them, and all the simps are sick of them, and all people stop subscribing, they want to hope they save their money, because they'll never earn another cent doing anything else anywhere ever.
Yeah, you sent me.
Because no one will have anything to do with them.
You sent me this other clip as well from, I believe it's called the Fresh and Fit podcast. I'm not really a fan of those guys, but what they did say was relevant here. Here, let me turn it up. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at TstreeT Controversy, and Big J at Old Mate Big J on Twitter. Here, where's the volume for this clip? Oh, there it is.
Getting sexual attention from the opposite gender.
Hold on, let me refresh. Start over.
I said women don't mature until they stop getting sexual attention from the opposite gender.
Why do you believe women don't mature?
I'll back up why I said that.
Okay.
The reason why I said that is because when girls are getting pursued by men and getting options and guys hitting up on Instagram, dating apps, whatever, the world is their oyster. It's awesome. I got a bunch of guys pursuing me. I get the privilege of being kind of in a delusional fantasy world where I think I deserve a man that's a millionaire, 6 foot plus, etc. Because I've dated a few, maybe I hooked up with one here, maybe I kissed one here. I think I deserve this caliber of man, right? And typically it's not until they get older and their options dry up from the opposite gender that reality smacks them and they say, whoa, I should probably find a family now. I should probably go ahead and find a guy. And maybe this career thing wasn't it. And I need to chase a family because it's going to give me the real fulfillment that I want.
Your thoughts on that?
Well, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, as I said, Andrew Tate did the same thing. When you're 52 and you're past it, and all your mates have got grandchildren, and you're alone in your big house with a few Gucci bags, is that going to make you sleep well at night? Knowing that you've got a few extra Gucci bags or a Bugatti in the garage, and no one wants to borrow you because you did OnlyFans at 25. Because it's always the same. All these women do this work. They do 5-6 years of it until they A, grow a brain, or B, get sick of it, right? And then they end up lonely spinsters for the rest of their life. The weird aunt at the wedding that no one really wants there, that's what they turn out to be.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's as I said, yeah, they can make a lot of cash real quick, but they normally spend what they're earning through their silly addictions.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a lose. I don't know why anyone would want to get into this, and it's creeping into professional sport. And people have got to say, why are they allowed to have a sponsor of that crap in the first place?
And
that's what I don't understand.
And we can say it's this the last what? I guess you could say like 90s babies, you want to say? Like the 90s women, the women that was, because the women from my generation, for example, I was born in 1983. The women growing up, they would wear like lipstick, little stuff on their cheeks. I don't know about makeup, but now you have all these surgeries going on, body positivity issues, even on the male side, so it's just not all, about the females here. You have a lot of young men from all races and demographics. They want to be a TikTok influencer, a gamer, a rapper, a YouTuber. Our society has changed so much to where the things that we need later on in life, kids or these younger generations don't care about until it's too late. So that's why, funny enough, I was having a conversation with somebody a few weeks ago about how these women are going to be ridiculous in the next 20, 30 years. And I'm talking about the ones that are young now. We're going to see these women, 60, 70-year-olds with these fake asses, fake titties, tattoos sagging all over the place. Can you imagine how some of these people are going to look with what they're doing to their bodies now? And then with the stigma of being an OnlyFans person, like, oh my gosh. Like,
it's happening to our generation now. Think back 20 years ago. What was the biggest fad that young women had back 20 years ago in the early 2000s?
The titties, right?
Tramp stamp.
Oh, tramp stamp? The tramp stamp, yes. What were they thinking?
Yes. Now, all these women are now in their 40s, and it looked terrible back then, and now it just looks like a blob on their back.
Mm-hmm. And if you see one, you don't get a good, it's always something like, oh, look at that. Like, when you see somebody with a tramp stamp, like, yeah.
That was our generation. Young ladies, getting tattoos on the small of the back would look absolutely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, I know a whole heap of them that have them, right? And you look now and you're like, why in God's name did you get that?
Funny enough, in my younger years, a woman wanted my name back there. Oh my gosh. And I remember, luckily I was smart enough, even though I was a dickhead back then in my early 20s, luckily I was smart enough to be like, you know what? I don't want that. You doing that to yourself, like crazy.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that was the one thing that women were doing back then. Stupid things men were doing. The list is endless.
Yeah.
What was stupid shit we were doing back in those days was an endless list. But it seems to be that it's just the stupidity of society is evolving to the point where it's just getting completely out of hand. I mean, like the woman in the Piers Morgan video, I can't remember her name, not Ellie Brooke, the dark-haired girl, was right. It's a pyramid scheme.
It is.
Only the top people at the top make money. Everyone else makes nothing and embarrasses themselves. And I've got that stigma for the rest of their lives. Remember, once you put that on the internet, you do not get it back.
You can't.
It's out there forever.
You don't know who
it's out
has
there
it.
Forever.
You don't know where it is, what copies were made. Like, you just don't know. So, for example, looking at this article right here, and something we didn't really delve into too much in this video is about, the effects that it has on your children. So your kids going to school, right? And, you got kids in the classroom, that let's say have a little bit more access to the internet, or families are a little bit more lax to what they get to, have access to online. So a kid comes in and says, oh, I saw little Charlie mom asshole motherfucking OnlyFans. Kids can be motherfucking cruel. So imagine that kid going to school, and then you got kids at lunchtime sharing this kid's mom all over. It doesn't make any sense. And I would love to be able to find a statistic, because I've been trying to look to see what would come up where you look at OnlyFans, depression, and how it has an effect on their children. But it's like the risk is way too high for the low reward.
Exactly.
Because, for that OnlyFans woman who thinks that, like, I'm going to quit my job. I seen her do it. I'm going to put 40 hours in a week, and you're barely scraping by. Like, the cost that you put on yourself is priceless, because now as you said, once it's on there, you're never going to get it back. And then how does that conversation go when you're trying to have, like, you know, you say, you know what, I did some things in my past. I have to tell you, I got OnlyFans. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go home and I'm going to start. I'm like, damn, I already made my decision. I can't be with you, but I'm going to go home and see what the hell was going on. And it's just, I didn't think about that until like you brought it up. Like, you know, these women are not going to get no men.
No decent man, I repeat, no decent man will go anywhere near them. They might pick up a simp that, you know, will hang around until the money runs out or they turn a certain age and they're sick of them, right? And then they'll dump them, because that's starting to happen now. These girls marry these simps, these blokes that worship the ground they walk on, and then they get to a certain age or the money runs out and they dump them and leave them because they're like, they move on to the next one. So there is no win-win. There's no win out of this, and it's a real shame that these women think that they have to lower themselves to this to make money, especially when they've got other options.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like these girls, you know, didn't have educational opportunities or don't have something else they can do of themselves. All three of them are professional boxers, or Elle not as much as the other two, but, you know, Ebony and Shanika certainly are. And they can do other things in life. Why do this OnlyFans crap is what I don't seem to understand. So I can't make head nor tail of it. And as Piers Morgan said, he'll want to interview her again in 15 years and see. And I know exactly where she's going to be. She'll be broke. She'll be husbandless, childless, and she'll be saying it was the biggest regret of her life. So it's. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's going to end up well for her, but she's a grown woman. She can do what she likes. But people don't realise that the consequences of your actions will catch up with you eventually. All right? Everyone does stupid shit in life. Eventually that, you know, as Chopper Reed used to say, life will get you back. So life will get you back. So you've done stupid shit in your life. I've certainly done stupid shit in my life. So, but,
you know, it's a difference between, you know, especially in this generation where everything is online, you know. So I'm you know, and this little tag on here says 70% of the content creators on OnlyFans are women. Here, I want to play this last little clip here from this other woman. I forgot her name. I need to pull it up.
Doing what she enjoys.
I thought it would be higher than that.
Yeah, it says only 70%.
Doing.
I thought it would be higher.
Well, clearly very popular. I mean, who are we to be too prudish about it, frankly?
It's nothing to do with Elle, but I think it's important to state that it's not just about having good looks and a little bit of work ethic, because oftentimes, like I just said, you could be incredibly good looking on OnlyFans and only bring in $180 a month and still take on the entire stigma of doing sex work. So while it's important to, you know, say that everyone can do what they want, we do have to acknowledge that Elle is the exception, not the rule. And oftentimes these young girls, sometimes on their 18th birthday, are being misled into joining this site that completely demolishes any prospects of future employment for them, and often statistically any chances of having relationships. A lot of OnlyFans girls are actually regretting being on the website, coming forward and saying they can't get a job now and they can't get a date, and they never even made the money to justify doing it.
That's a good point.
Happy for Elle, but that's the exception to the rule.
Okay, yeah, let me ask you on that point. I mean, do you have a man or not? You want a man?
No, I'm single at the moment. But can I just point out that people fail at jobs all the time. Like, just because you didn't make it as an actor, do you regret being an actor? Like, so many companies go busk. And like, what that point
right. If you fail at OnlyFans, you've done porn.
Sorry?
I said, but if you fail at McDonald's, you didn't flip a burger correctly for a customer. If you fail at OnlyFans, there's videos and pictures of you having sex or being naked on the internet forever. There's much
you
worse
make that
consequences.
choice. It's not like loads of people fail.
No, I know,
if you make
but
that
you should
choice
make
of
the
getting
choice
naked,
armed
then you
with the
can
information. But you
agree
should
with
be
the
armed with the information, is what I'm saying. You do make.
What does it say though, Elle? I mean, honestly, we've got to wrap it up. But what does it say about society where a bright young woman like you, right, decides to abandon a career and a fantastic career as a lawyer to do this just because it's making you money online? What does it say about the way society's gone?
that I'm successful no matter what I do. I'd be successful as anything. It just
Are you proud of it? Are you
to
proud
be-
of it though?
Yeah, of course
Really?
I am. Of course I am. Look
More
at
than
me.
you would be as
Through
a lawyer?
OnlyFans, I box. I have a big social presence. I have everything, and OnlyFans was my gateway to become this influencer that I am now.
But
I
who wants
absolutely
to
am
be an
proud of that.
influencer really? What does it
Who
mean?
wants? Have you met any? Maybe not OnlyFans, but any
I
kid at
find
school?
all
They wanna be
influencers pretty
influencers.
shallow people. I've got to
Yeah.
be honest, because they think they're great influencing on people, but most of them aren't. They're a bad influence.
I feel like now you've been deplatformed, you're kind of an influencer.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
In
I'd
what
say
way?
so. I don't know. Just you could have any views online and post them when you're an influencer.
That's true.
That has me as you.
That's true, but I see myself as a journalist. It was a career I always wanted to do. You would have been a lawyer
Yeah.
if you hadn't taken this path. I reckon I'll
Yeah.
interview again in 15 years.
Yeah.
And you'll say, you know what, Piers, you were right.
I'll pick you up in my Bugatti.
Okay.
that was some arrogant shit to say. Closing thoughts?
She won't have a Bugatti in 15 years. She'll be broke. I
Yeah.
guarantee it. So,
Yeah, especially if
I
her
mean,
money habits
the
aren't well,
arrogance of
that
that
money's going
woman.
to dry up.
Sorry?
Yeah, if her money habits aren't good, she needs to save everything now because, we know how it works. Like, once she gets older, that money's going to start drying up.
Well, exactly. As I said, these girls need to make enough money over the next few years to last them the next 50 because projections say that, how old's Ebony? 36, 37? She's going to expected to live at least until her late 80s, if not into her 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people are expected to last a lot longer these days. So, you're going to need a lot of money to sit back and do nothing for the rest of your life. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the pure arrogance of that woman, she doesn't know the storm that's coming her way, for lack of a better term. I mean, as I said, life will get her back and she'll figure out when she's, in her 40s and no husband and no kids and no one wants a bar of her because of what she's doing now, it'll be too late.
Yeah.
It'll be too late for her to realise. And what really angers me is why we're allowing this shit in sport. I mean, it's porn, for God's sake. Since when was porn allowed to sponsor sport?
Yeah, for real.
In any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going
never
out
see
to
this in like
boxing.
the NBA or NFL or baseball or MLB, nothing.
Exactly. Why are boxers why are promoters allowing this crap?
Yeah.
So, because it's not just the women. The men have got OnlyFans on their trunks.
Yeah.
Doesn't Derek Shaw have an account?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few
But,
other
yeah,
boxers I've seen promoting it as well. And then you have you have kids seeing it saying, what's OnlyFans? Yeah, you're right. There's an issue there. We want boxers and athletes to have sponsors, but there is an issue there because they have it big as day right there, and young fans are watching this. But
well,
listen,
exactly. I mean,
go ahead.
The one thing that was never allowed in sport was pornography, but now it's creeped in.
Mm-hmm.
Because back in the day, I don't know about the NFL, but the NRL used to be sponsored by a cigarette company.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, they wouldn't do that
Winfield,
no
it used to
more.
be called the Winfield Cup. I mean, alcohol's always sponsored professional sports in Australia. Gambling's just, oh God, every second ad. Bet responsibly and all other, we've got like 6 gambling companies in the country that ram it down your throat, and then they have the audacity to say gamble responsibly when you and I know there's no such fucking thing.
Yeah.
Gamble responsibly, don't gamble. So, but porn was always the one thing that was never allowed to even be mentioned. But now,
Just
and
normalized
people can sugarcoat it any way they want. It's fucking porn.
Yeah. Just
I mean,
so since we're short on time here, let us know what you think about this type of content down below in the comments. You can follow me on Twitter at TstreeT Controversy and Big J at Old Mate Big J. But yeah, there's definitely it's gonna be some more controversies involved in this. And I don't see OnlyFans being around for the next 10 years. We'll see how that works out. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and TstreeT Controversy and with Big J at TraversialMedia.com. Thanks for watching.